Hello, it's Sunday evening. Yes, it is evening, October. No, it's August 24th. The background is blown out. That would not expose well in the movie. Look at that. Even when I do that, my finger disappears for some reason. Anyways, I hadn't really planned on doing an update, but a couple things happened between Friday night and now. So I thought I would hopefully make this a quicker one than the last one. First of all, I just finished writing and printing out a letter on my mindful entertainment letterhead, very professional, to a local motel that is giving us a discount for letting one of the actors stay there. So that's very nice. He wanted a written letter with how the name of the motel is going to appear in the end credits and also the premise of the movie. So did that. I started storyboarding the movie yesterday, and I'm going to try to do something extremely technical. And let's see what is it. Hopefully you can now see the Mindful Entertainment logo. I just brightened it up to use for that. But now what I'm going to show you, that's the pitch deck, which that's a whole nother thing. This is some test footage I took today, which feeds into the next part of the story. I was in a park where we're going to shoot a very crucial scene, and I was just practicing with Da Vinci doing some color work on that. But what I was really going to tell you is this is Blender right here. This is that 3D software I mentioned the other day. This is the script right here. And what I did yesterday, and I did a little today, but man, A, it took a while. B, I went to scout this location. C, I got some scary news, which I will relate shortly. And then there was a golf tournament on. I forced myself to watch, plus church in the morning and then eating and groceries and all that. So anyways, this is a particular scene that takes place in a park. So I went into Blender and I imported all these assets. I didn't really make any of them myself. You can go in for free. You can find things. And obviously this is nowhere near professional, but this is the park. This is the entrance. This is some concrete, or cement, which roughly shows what it looks like. There's a big tree here, which I can confirm because I just took more pictures of it. And then there's a path that leads into the woods. And then in the woods, there's this very cool bridge. And so what I was trying to do is kind of figure out how this scene is going to work. So down here is a timeline for the program. And let me just show you how this works just roughly. So watch the car. You can't really see it, but there's a camera right here. I'll highlight it so you can see it. And so this is how sort of I envision the scene opening. The camera is going to be a drone. It's going to lead the car in. It's going to turn. And then we're going to go into some close-ups. Let's see if I've got the... you assign different cameras. And so like there is a shot of two of the people. The window comes down and these women sort of poke their heads out. You can see other camera angles. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's for later in the shot. So I've got this camera angle, which is going to be a wide shot. I think after they get out, I've got this camera angle, which I don't know if you care about. That's the one we just saw. And then I've got a 50 millimeter, which is looking at the two boys sort of from the women's point of view who are in the car. Do I have anything else different? No, that's that other one. So anyways, you can set up all these different cameras and then you can sort of play the scene. Again, this is not professional by any means, but let me go back to this angle here, which is not a camera angle. So you can kind of see what's going to happen. They're going to come in. The women are going to get out of the car. One's going to open the trunk. The car's going to go away. They're going to talk, and then they're all going to walk into the woods, and that's where most of the dialogue takes place. So I thought that was kind of cool. This is the first scene I've really storyboarded and sort of blocked out where there's any movement, because up till now it's a lot of either talking on the phone or just in a room, two people talking to each other and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of neat, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you're not directing the actors obviously, but you're setting up the shots, and you're really figuring out how you can tell the story visually and what possibly it's going to look like, so you don't show up, even though I've scouted all these locations. So I got into this and I realized, geez, I better go over there, and it's only like less than 10 miles away. So I went over there to look, and all the video I took, so this is that bridge I was just talking about. That's part of the bridge. I was just testing out, that's the parking lot. I was testing out some long lenses to see if I could do some cool shots. That's leading into the woods. That's our backyard. So anyways, I did that, and I thought that was worth showing you, because mostly it's just looking at me, which isn't nearly as exciting, although maybe it is. So it's a lot of work. And as you can see, that was scene 14, and there's 110 scenes in the movie. So I will be working on that from now until basically we're ready to shoot the movie. Speaking of shooting the movie, I got a text from one of the gentlemen who is in the movie. I won't say who it is because it doesn't really matter. And I had told everyone, I sent all the actors an email. I said, here's when we're planning on shooting stuff. Please let me know ASAP if this is a conflict, because he had previously said that this would work, but of course it's all tentative. So he texted me, and well, he said something else about his wardrobe, whatever. And then he said, oh, by the way, this date is probably not going to work, or I've got a conflict on this date. And you know how when usually something bad happens, your mind just literally races a million, in my case, 2 million miles a minute, because this is a Saturday. We're going to shoot this. So I'm thinking to myself, because he says, is this a big deal? And I said, well, it kind of is a big deal. And then I said, well, could you film Thursday or Friday before that? And then I'm thinking to myself, if we do that, I'm going to have to call 2 sets of homeowners to let them know. I'm going to have to film basically the last scene of the movie on the first day of shooting, which may not be unusual, but feels kind of weird. As it is, we're shooting, it's not quite the last scene, but it's sort of the big climax on the third day, and which is the day where we're having this gentleman actor. So, and then one of the other scenes, 2 or 3 of the other scenes we're going to shoot with him are at a business, which I don't know that we could get into on a Thursday or Friday when we talked about shooting. And then the actress may or may not be available, who is playing in a couple of his scenes. And so he texted right before I left for the park to do my scouting, and not kind of scouting, blocking. And then when I got in my car after I had done all the stuff, so this is maybe an hour after we first texted, he said, oh, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, everything's okay. We can do it that day. And I'm like, you don't know how good that makes me feel. So those are just things, I mean, as far as I know, whether you have a low budget, medium budget, micro budget, or huge budget, just stuff like this always happens. And that's why, I mean, and this movie included, not only until you roll, but until you wrap, and then even then things can go bad in post-production and it never gets released or something. But when people say, oh, I sold a script, or I'm going to get a movie made, or, I'm making a movie, that's all true, but making a movie and having made and finished and released or distributed or whatever movie, those are leagues apart, or at least they can be. So that was the drama of the day. That was the tale of the weekend. Of course, working 4 to 6 hours per day on a weekend makes it go even faster than normal. And we're heading into Labor Day a week from tomorrow. Hopefully I can get some more work done, and then we're going to be gone for a little bit, hoping to get some work done on the vacay, and then we'll come back, and it'll be like 2 weeks basically until we start going. So, it's a lot, but would I trade it for anything? Probably something, but I can't think of what that something might be right now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and turning on those notifications. The more people who see this, I was thinking about this, the more people that see this, maybe the more people that want to make their own movie, or the more people that see this are like, oh my God, I never want to make a movie. All I want to do is be a screenwriter. If that's your dream, that's awesome. I highly recommend not to turn this, oh my gosh, it's already over 11 minutes, not to turn this into a lecture, but I don't know why you would want to be a screenwriter and have nothing to do with the movie making process. And I don't know how many people like that are out there. The ones who think they can write it, turn it in, get paid, wash their hands of it, and go on to something else without having some sort of on-set experience, production experience, let alone be thrown into the deep end, as is the case here. So if you're just getting started in screenwriting or, quote, filmmaking, whatever that means, I don't know, would you write a 5-minute short and then completely make it yourself? And you say, well, I don't have a camera, I don't have sound equipment, I don't have actors, I don't know how to edit. Well, that's really not an excuse. It may be an excuse if you're going to make a feature that's, a $40 or $50 million film, but guess what? Odds of that ever getting made, just about zero. All right, off the soapbox, on to, I got to watch some TV before the weekend slips away for reasons that I'll probably never explain. Anyways, I'm checking to see where I have to go to click stop recording. So when you see my eyes wander, that's what's happening. A little behind the scenes activity. See you later. Go make your own movie. Report back to me.